a ye bedie papa ye jare hye wonsa papa e maye nto oni pa bi bre bia ni gisa WhatsApp urade papa wo ma WhatsApp bre won bedi dwuma papa fa wo mu na fa won ye adwuma onyame ne yenso so ya ye ti asam onyame ye ntie ne fa ho afutuo ne ntu ho anamom therefore ye pagya anuane wo so won baka ye ho nyina hye wonsa Some bro who fweje wonu wakaka fo papa kaka wo meyi o papa ne nyina fa kuma pa no odo emehia mo odini mo onyame wo si baby ebe no na ba san di ehia no therefore na so we mfimfrim enti na enumre wo ma ye be hia o papa what some train so obi biara ma wo fi ha mpo ha obi emma no onsa nkọ ne sa enti onyame enum se ene enumre ya ya ba wo na asie papa ha bia wo ma wa no nku a ewo bia onyame esa se dwumedi ye die onyame ebe kwa awie ye no onyame wona modom so no ye obi biara busade de amayem ono kwa afu nyankopon ye mpa ye se papa dwumedi nyina ja hye wonsa to mira be fa wo dwumedi no mum therefore na bibia wie mo peya oh papa ye fo se de ni ye be ka twa so odimafo wa ye amana bro ya dwene ye nti ase so enti ye do ye ene wase da e de be ma ye da wase so onyame ofiti nyuma pase a uwie ni nkunimdie mu ayeye nka udin se na anwumre nso so waye ne saa de amaye adomunti amen
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 Amen.
sisters nyame adwuma na hwe
now dia akoso
abisuafo anwumre we have debate and it's about traditional African cultural values and Western cultural values. Baby, I do baby and a great challenge. Some of the things that our children are learning, and some of the things that we are also teaching them in our homes. They do baby, they go through that identity crisis. And into a year Atlanta and Canada, Akabu, and Mayatia say, you will be manso, and into baby a one or more cultural values, you know, yet mean to internet. Into they are talking about the Western cultural values. When here say you bet to me abuachre yema. Wana Agina Ama Atlanta into 2 zones. Permit me to put it that way. We have 2 zones, zone 1 and zone 2, Atlanta and Canada, zone 1, and Washington and New Jersey, zone 2. Zone 1, we have our sister Elizabeth Jawu and Belinda Ofre. They are standing in for zone 1, Atlanta, Canada zone, and then zone 2, Washington, New Jersey circuit. We have 2 of our sisters, Sewa Asante and Abeta Sechi. They are standing in for the zone 2. They are saying they are going to convince us that yes, we are in the foreign land, but we still need our African traditional values. And the Abisianfo Mesre, I can see, yes, Mama here, the co-hosts, let us bring them here so that they will help us lead us. Navision 4, they have 10 minutes for their main presentation. But also be okay. Mama is here. The last person who is not here, Elizabeth. Elizabeth. I hope say your sister the full name nearby. Secretary, I hope you're also going through the list to fish out our sister Elizabeth Jewu.
So for me,
can you show your face so that we can pin you, please? We need your face.
The name is Lizzie G. Lizzie G.
Have you seen it?
That's why we're finding it difficult to.
Oh,
Right.
good. Great.
Okay. So people of God, Mesre, yeah, then in such a way, say we have interpreters around, and the one agina ama 2 zones, you know. Any language you can speak Dagate, Frafra, Ever, Ga, Akan, Profo. We have interpreters around, and they will help us. In the language, we are will be to my espresso or feel free na espresso. For yes, let me say this again. We are in the church. For any debate for the sake of debate. Executives, ACIN, president, and then in for the idea and say it drew baby crana would be free Ghana Bafofra. Obu say will be an order ma and our baby kafu and I be an okofana mamia but no offending ma. Obi drew her. Is there any way women's fellowship we can have a manual? I bet me I break it to a level. I had no seen them of franity. Nti say no muhu niema, say no mujusu fa niema, say no mujune fa niema, say no mujune fa niema. And that is the notion. So that at the end of this debate, the Women's Fellowship can come up with a manual that can help North American Mission Diocese. Into Biba, Sisia, and yet Asafumankwa, Asofon to be another the mamba, hey, here. This and Nema, yes, the Nema Ben, you bit me a kaboom, and Nema Ben, I into me and Kambo. And yes, sir, and yes, sir, when we did first, and I name at the end of the day, you bet me, and in fact, they have 20 points. 20 points, and we want them to do their submissions. And to a main point, you know, they have 10 minutes. So, on Bekasa, Afa. At the Quintia, sa Western cultural values, you know, here na yebo bodies here money people, and now say African traditional cultural values. Here, you bet me and at any point in time, you bet me at the B every na ya mejibi and assessor. In your pump show, Yania, you also me minum and me papa, penifoni in a lay chairman, and the bishop, your papa no mean yes, ye will give you the opportunity. So the bear AB anti Madaroma Assembly yet Monaso we need you. We need you. Organizations, so other sister organizations in Pennsylvania, we need all of you. Ministers, we need all of you. We need your contributions. Yes, sir, if we are, we will give that opportunity. That's it, February. We want to start from zone 1. Atlanta, Canada zone. Why the Western cultural values is crucial for us.
Acho, nyame adwuma na hwe. Pacho, me did say Western cultural values, no. There is a lot that we can take from. It has strong individual values, which allows for a pool of creative expressions and also builds up of oneself apart from the community. It creates expression of different ideas, allows the community to also focus on situations from different perspectives, and reduces the, the likelihood of other biases when different perspectives are included. So it allows for the fact that the community that you grow in, that you are, becomes a stronger community when you focus on what you want to do. So that is what I will say the first point is. And then the individual identity allows for a person to be self-aware. When we look at the prophet Isaiah, he was a man who was tasked to showing the Israelites their faults and their flaws. That was what he was put, and he was able to find fault with Israelites. He played that role within his community. But when he met God on his throne and expressed the glory of God, the faults moved from that collective community. He saw how sinful he was. And as a man, he laid, and that was where he repented. So when we have individual identity, it leads to self-awareness. Individual identity allows one for one's strive in uniqueness within the body of Christ. In 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 27 to 31, Paul talked about how individual identity within the body of Christ allows for the growth in the body of Christ. Being aware of your uniqueness allows you to use the gift and also the talent and etc. that you have. And that also makes you build your community. Find strength in collective gain by individual identity. I will go to my third point, which says that private living, it allows less gossiping, because we know when you are listening to other people, they tend to put in things that you don't even have idea about, which is also the key issue Paul pointed to when he talked about behaviors that needs to be stopped. A private lifestyle prevents the concept of busybodying and people saying things they ought not to say. And also, when we go back to the Bible, in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 13 and 14, when emphasis are placed on family and the immediate family, as he talked about, it prevents idleness, and that henceforth into people's lives, and also you do not talk about others because you place the emphasis on you and your family. I will go to our family emphasis. It also allows strength in the community. When we go back to the Bibles, that is 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 4 and 5, emphasis is placed on the immediate family as opposed to the bigger collective being God's church. This same principle can be applied here. If the immediate family is not prioritized, how will the extended family flourish? Within growth within the immediate, God in his infinite mercies created the system that allows for it to flourish. The man being the head of the family and the woman his helper, for the growth of the family and the better discipleship for the children. When in this system, it is protected and emphasized. So this now, when you are able to build your family, you can now build your community. I'll leave it for my sister to also give her input.
Abusuafo nyame adwuma na hwe.
Wode akoso.
Medamase. Mepamacho, so me point edikan ye importance of schedule and clock timing. Say ye share ye breya, ye bra, ye share ye western ha, e bre ehun hia pa. San say ye in kasa ye mono, ya ye tai kasa time is money. Time is precious. Yes, time is money. Because say ye kwen ye dwuma mu a ye de kwen ye mfie mu a ye de mre na ye bibia. We ye dwuma mu ye di ye mre e wo western side. Bibia e ye mre. So when ni wo mre so pepepa ye tumi etwe waso e wo dwuma ye. Ye de ba Christos mu a e yes PM reso. Biara eye so emreso a ema ye increase na eso na ne wie ye esan say Yesu Kristo a ye de ho ato no so say agidifo a ye di na chi no o de mre ene na ene ye na twuma eni nti eye pa say ye bedi ye mreso na ye di so yie pepepe me pa cho me point a etosu mi enu tax and goal oriented priority and not so I it's a ye the buy ye the buy Africa ye the buy western side ha niema bebre wo ha ye the share ye the two ehwe say yen hwe ye president and niema empanyfo a edi en so e wo krodua mu a ye the two me bi ehwe wo mu nsa na wo ye ne yie tem bia no western ye hwehwe say ye di ade be hwe obi a obetumi aye na waye ne yie asa na ye de ahwe ne nsa I ye the beko yen Christo sum asay ye emeko members say ye the botaye bi ebehye won sa ye hwe de onimode ye hwe se ampa ye nuan obetumi aye na waye ne yie o watu ho ache o wa hofama obetumi aye ne yie sa nipa no na ye tumi di sa adwumade ne hye ne nsa enti say ye de hye won sa ese se wo hye so na wo ye ne yie na wo di so pepepe wo yire wo ho ye wa famu de bia se Christo ni se ojidi ni se emekuo ni mapa the etoso mensa abstract and academic thinking eno so ye ba ho a ye ba eno so a we en western ha ade bia ye no ye mfa enhye se eye ba yie ana obi na asusu ama ye se ye mfa ne se obi yare a ye hwehwe ade kra ede yare na eba ye yen hwe yen kase o ready ne ma me nua bi a odi na chi ana abrewa bi a oti fie na editipaye ato no so na emom ye hwe de editipaye no ebaaye ene ensunsuan so a aye na ye hwe ebo ho bra ana ye ebo fine enti wo yen Christo so mu ene aseye emakuo emai esese bibisi a yetumi gina brane na ye gina akokodro mu na ye fa ye ni emubu se ye nua wei na etwetwa ye nantini ana ye nua wei na besta watu bibi ama na ye yen ana obonsam ana nipa bi o ba bi a okutia ye na emum ye de ye ni si ne so na ye hwe solution ewo saade na abani me pacho me point bi ma esa atwa so ye preference for academic learning and also so yen western ha yen bibia e academical because yen ha no to say wo kohwehwe obi a wo bo GPS a esese wo ye obi a utumi kenkai na utumi etro se utumi kenkai na utumi tra ema wo mu ye ha ema woni gi e wo krodua im ha eti esese wo ma wadesua de bia ye focus e wo yen adesua ho na yetumi ekenkai yetumi etro science na abekwa akohwehwe obi kra no this a wo GPS na wonya na address na wonim kenkai a obede na wako esese wo ye obi a wonim kenkai na wotimi akọ ehia se ye bekenkai nti no tem bia ye re ye main box mu a ye de nyama bebre begum ya na wo mu de papers abegum se ye kenkai yes ehia ma ye se ye kenkai bebre na chocho bebre e wo ye west enti ye de ba ye Christo so mu se makuofo a tem bia se ye bless ye besua ade se ye kai trosem no ai na me asam konkon na wo de ama ye se time bia no ye na ye bata no ene na ye kenkai ni ye ye kenkai no na ye kenkai ni da no pa awia enumre ye kenkai me point at me say kwaso ye scientific word view and then my last point scientific word view no ye in western ha ade bia ye cause and effect Yenfa adeɛ yenkeka enema emubom. Yɛhwɛ course a ɛde adekoro ne baaye. Na yɛahwɛ effect a ɛwɔ saa adeɛ no. Na yɛafine solution. Ɛte sɛ ane, ɛte sɛ ehia sɛ yɛhwɛ course. Na yɛafine solution ti no. Na yɛafine solution ti no. Yɛhwɛ yɛn Kristo som a. Yɛhwɛ yɛn Kristo som a. Our Christians, we also believe that if we worship God well, we will go to heaven. If not, we will go to hell. Amen.
Amen.
For yesum ye nyankopon yi a ye wo gidie e wa rehyɛ say the betna osra himem eja Abraham no kokum ye ne na bose ya to ozana e nyankopon aye mpamacho medamase
yo yada mo se me sure say 10 minutes in the mo amugidi ze mo boro yi but I'm say you we are okay. We will go to zone 2, Newark, New Jersey Circuit, and Washington Circuit. Yes, Washington, Newark, New Jersey Circuit. My main submission.
Now they are also.
Pacho said ye penny for Edding Kayakano. Yen so ye de free ye bibi maimu ena ye de eba. Yen asa yen Africa and I say bibi maimu no. Yen ye point ye de jina so anadie minimia de dikain our no sube canadie. Eye our strong community values. Our strong community values. Yen ye wo and I say ye de free a hoba ye nim said ye. Yen ebusua ahofama esitie ene sede ye kabom eye ye bibia ewo ebusua mu yetumi efa ebusua nchichemu ni mantemu a wote no obi nyawur maame no enye wo papa no enso enam se munyina mu bom ewo community num enam mu one culture one value no obia ye nyina ye kabom eye ade baako na se ye de ko ya kinkan semu a ewo de Proverbs chapter 27 verse 17 or say as iron sharpen iron so one person sharpens one another said ye be kabom na ye be ye bibia baako yentumi nye ewo krom ha ti say ye de free ya abibi maimu no ene ye de toaso de aba ha wo ebusua mu se wo ye minua we ye minua nchichemu nim wo na ye nyada strong value na ebeboa yen ewo ye nyamesumu enkankan ye makuo yi mu se ye nyina ebehu ye ho se ye baako emfa ho ne ba bia wo free because that is how the culture is ewo ba bia ye free. My point about so enso ye hospitality ye baby ye free a ye de ba ewo ye fenisen ye abibi mamu no say ye betumi atna efie ba akuma na say community ba akum obi betumi anu aduane na wache ama obi bi obi ba ubon no obi ade nchanse aba no obi di aba beje ne de enye onu ubon we ye ne de na we di aba we ye ne de na mu di aba e ma mu didi bom se de Jesus ba ye na obeye ye no o ma ye nyina ye to tena ase ma obi a onu ankasa serve obi a enti se ye de sa mentality no ye the free ye kro yi mu ba han mu say ya ye be yi individualism no efri mu na ye tumi abeye ba ko se de Jesus kire yen no na se ye de ba makuo mu de a ene na che se ye wie kra if you say na ye emulate de Jesus e be kire ye no of de no ho be maaye obe hohoro ye na ase o che say there's hospitality e wo ye kro ye bibi mamu no ye de ba ye can say yɛde ɛyɛ adwuma wɔ baabi ana yɛtoa so a ɛbɛboa yɛn yɛmmerɛ no nti me third point respect for authority and elders. Respect for authority and elders. Yen nyinaa yɛnim anaa yɛn a yɛdi free amanɔne abibima mu baa yɛn yɛnim sɛdeɛ yɛbu yɛn mpanimfoɔ fa yɛnim sɛdeɛ yɛsi kasa yɛn mpanimfoɔ ho fa yɛnim sɛdeɛ yɛaho braseɛ wɔ yɛn mpanimfoɔ mu ɛteɛ wontu sɛ wobɛtumi agyina ka ne sɛn Osofo anase u teacher animu na kyese wo na wo te se dean wo dru panyin animu a wo bafo wo ba panyin animu a wo bafo wo ntumi mfa wo nsabo nkum mpo ngi ade mfiri panyin ho ewo if pray baby a fear ye de baye the respect for elders nti se etumi abeye saa adwuma no ewo ha no mu se ya anase ye de ba ha betwa so a eyade a enkedi enyamesom ebekwa animu meka ne sa na meka ne sen emeku mpanimfo enuanom yetumi panyin a odi anim sen ne esi ne kasa sen ne esi eka ne no nasem wo nechi sen ne esi ne no relate enti se yede saa ebuo ne yede ma ye mpanimfo wo ye akan mamu no ede ba omayimu a ebeboa ye kuyi ama ye ni ada ho media to asubie ma mede ka ho conflict resolution and where your point no mu say resolve conflict through mediators ebe ye ni akoma asori mempe mintie mente panyin kama mente how do we resolve conflict ye kromu no anababy free ayede ba ye se panyin ye wade anase obi ye wade a obehu na ebusua panyin na fremu mienu no de mwatena ase no akasa akere mo na mwatem ho ase wanto ho ase a de twi obetwi wanim no wamponya de a obetumi agina nanim enso sen na ye makue ye fa no wom asamba sen na mpanimfo de yetena ase a ye fa no ana me de me ho me anam baaye nyo na ade me baaye sen na ye fa ye conflict resolution yet ye ho ase anase ye de ko bible mu me time ni nti meja ya ma menua ase wa no no so aka ne de se de be ya ibedi emre so me da ma simple for
sister me so ya me de be ka ho the first point you say real life situational thinking yen baby a ye fi no se asem bi kura to obi a enye sise na ye ko refer wo book mu ana se ko yi tese ya nkasa ye ho no there and there na utumi nya obi e ma no e ma wadwen bi ana se ma no ka bibi kire wa ade kro na wo pe ho mu a ya na se wo pe ho masibra na se wo pe ho bibi no obi etumi kire obi tumi kire enye se enye ni nyina ne se bia ko akohwehwe book mu ana se real life there and there na situation ne basisi a yetumi nya utumi nya obi e ma ne boa e ma mo solve sa situation no ya me de beka ho no so say we emphasis on spoken agreement based on leadership between people say ISA bia asasi bi na ye koto ana se nya se na bia ye be sign book enya asase po pese bia bibi ena ye be assembly na ye be ka na say situation assembly bi na ye be ka ho asema ye nya sese na ye kohwehwe bia document bia na say ye document ana say bibi ye society no ye numa bi mu a bia utumi ho bia obu no pa utumi sese nipa we die di si ni so ana say mani di aginamu a nia minim se ade na me ye no odi aginamu a nipa na me ne ye no behu se nipa we ya odi na di aginamu na se ade na wo ye no no kore say emphasis on spoken agreement and say agreement ye nya agreement in for book nto so ye de ye respect nipa na ye ka se nipa we na agina ho amame a ye gini di se o betumi agina ho amaye and we have much interest in the spirit world. Say we live in harmony with the environment. And you say asase ewo ho no yafa asase say oyoba. Enim so aduane was so omaya aduane nsuo edida ni nua nti no ye ma ye values no ma ye hu say ye the respect bi ma ma asase kwa ye fa na so oyoba nti ye fra na asase ya nti eno no be ma a keep in shape say ma wo bi a wonye niamafo bi wo asase bi so ana say nsuo bi wontumi kwase su because ye hu say bi a supreme being bi wo ho say nyankopon na abo no no so gina ho ema nyame enti no yenye ne basabasa enti ye ma da bia no ye ma wo hu say we nso agina ho te say nyame abode na agina ho nso te say nyame in a way sa na ye wo traditional inherited leadership say I say ye be si ohene ne sa niema no ye tradition no enye se na bia ye kwoto aba akwayi obi ana say ye election bi lay down foundation no enti no we no ema conflicts ne negotiation ni bibia amamu because they lay down abusua we wo ha ye say abusua we omo ye royals enti eto omo a adedie ne ye de mo omo ema basabasa ye bia ema nti ema asundwe ema tension ni bibia so ema asundwe ba pepepe ena ye wo holistic approach to life. Say na me this kind no. Say we respect our environment. And you know, many nyina no to say we respect our environment and a holistic approach to life also no. Ye ma ye hu say nyame bi ye say oda na sorry a e bibi na ma wa sorry. Ndo hwa ye kasa na ye ne ye yina mu kra obi bi sa say te say a wonga say ye keke. Bi how are you? I'm fine keke. Untumi nye sa ha no obi bi say te say oh nyame adom. Oh nyame eye nyame pa eye say nti ye ma ye hu say ye was supreme being bi wo ho a ono na oye okese na ye dan no nti sa holistic approach to life no sa na ye nso ye cultures na e ma ye hu na ye value bi say ye culture say na ye kan culture na ye say yan kan ye kasa ne ye culture ye gina ho ma ye kasa gina ho ma ye duane gina ho ma ye dressing especially ye kasa eno na identify ye enti no ba bia ye bedru bia no o kasa identify even so we Ghana ni kura na obi kan kran no kura ma hu so we ye nkran ni o kan aibe hu so we ye aibe ni na even ye dressing so ma ye dance no ye occasion bia na ne dressing so hu so obi aye tuntum anya obi ko no be kan kire say nipa we bi ade atonani hu ni dressing a we hu say oh nipa we no e bi a wanya yie enti na bi a ohia ya re chekere enti ya me de be ka ho so no and there is we have practical rituals to respond to religion and then they say practical rituals say you say sanya meka no ade na intertwine ni nyina say abobom ye respect ye supreme being no enti no edru bibi ti say memfa na say bia fashion na say bibi nye say bia Christo so but ye di ni die na e ma say nyame ama bia bayre ba ye ka say oh ye nya amane ye kakra bi na ye mfa ansa ye di bayre ni bi eno no eye eni die ni ye di ma okese no say supreme being no say wa ma bia wa ma aduane aba enye say bia ye rituals say bia ye bibi a eni nyame asem no enko nti ene practical rituals so a eye eno so ye ena me last ye me last year emphasis on spoken relationships between people say so I'm say my sister mpo kan say nya conflict anya say na ye dey court na say dey koyi you hu obi a ubu na say ye bi a pastor osofo ana say opanyin bi na afere n'anima anya say na ye be frɛ ye be court direct utu enu mpo wan kasa po ntumi nye ne direct nye face to face obi opanyin bi a ubu no etumi gina mu eka wa asem ma enti mpaacho me de besi ha na ye wi a conclusion ne nso na yaka aka ho ndamo ase
abusuafo yɛda two zones ne nyinaa ase ɔmo ayɛ ɔmo major submissions every yeah per se you call zone 1 5 minutes yeah zone 2 presentation idea na mo fi say anko ye and idea na mo fi say we say you say and you say into zone 1 we are back to you zone 2 for presentation no idea na mo wo home you have the next 5 minutes. For this one, they will make sure you just use only 5 minutes. Me Pacho, I'm getting of his Pacho, maybe a 2-2, right?
The Pacho, so from Pacho mean Kasaya, because zone 1, Yadia and Saya, the last 10 no Yan can Hoshi, Pacho.
Zone 1, you papa open Akasa.
Nipa 2.
Yeah,
2. Man, so because I didn't know through.
Another batch and now waba.
Okay, now I trust a year.
Etimitia say no. Summary no. I'm question na ma beba. But your more you must say on come on. Meboa. Zone 1. You have 3 people.
No, it's supposed to be 2.
That's true.
Okay.
So Mama, but we'll give you opportunity.
Yeah, better another round, and then
yes. So zone 2. If say Obi was second, no, if say or no, yeah, if you're ready, we'll give you that opportunity. Yes, and in Pancho, so Mama, it's more point, no, Ebia can happen so they come.
Yeah.
Mama, yes, Mama, you can do that. Now, so what point you hold? Say, host or more submission anymore. Now, what point you hold? And you just add what you have.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I will be quick. Inti Mesumi Beka in favor of the Western culture no, for the rest of Nyakano. One of the major differences between the Western culture and the African culture no, is the emphasis on written agreement. The Western world, you know, there are more emphasis on written communication. And what it does is it clarifies a verbal message. It can also be stored for future references. When policies are made and put into written for communities, companies, organizations, and so on, it becomes the rules and the laws to follow. Sometimes, ukoye eduma kra no a when mo nyina no oma trotro wo ho dada. Inti no omo ma wo kan ati ase nye se obi na e kan verbally atrao. Omo ma wo kan ati ase e sign ni ansana wa starti eduma no oye no. Another difference between the Western culture and the African is intellectual response to spirit realities. Intellectual response to spirit realities. Western world rely mainly on science than spiritual. Some examples, you know, any sickness, death, accident, bebre. But when Muninano, they looked into it to find the causes and study it to fix for the betterment of society. It also helps people to live without fear because they are well informed and educated in most situations. The next one, America, any resolve conflict face to face in the Western world. You know. This results in settling issues in a timely manner. The Western world has no problem to say, I'm sorry, rather than a third party or an mediator, which might prolong, and also one party might not be satisfied with the end, you know, thinking say, hey, bia or ye bias. And also he was unfair. Into the next one, I will quickly glance through any vulnerability seen as strength in the Western world, vulnerabilities as strength. The Western world sees this as a foundation for open and non-judgmental communication. They are not shy to talk about weaknesses or their vulnerability, knowing they will not be judged. It helps and leads them to get help, either through counseling or therapy. Also help to know you are not alone, and that helps gaining some confidence for you. I believe the last but one will be respect for educated, respect for the educated. In the Western world, educated are respected. The educated are respected, but there is more emphasis on their knowledge and ability to solve problems, not only for the title. People are not afraid to question the competency of this titled educated person. So they continue to work. Let me see. The last one, actually, the last one will be death as a practical problem. The Western sees the death as a practical problem. The Western world view death, the Western world's views on death is realistic. It is sad, but they do not prolong the acceptance. They continue to work through a normal life in a timely manner. Since grieving is different for different people, different people grieve differently. A professional help, there's a professional help for counseling to provide. There's a professional help to counsel and to provide people with how they can cope with their loss. And as we go along, then we will continue to elaborate more. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mama. Zone 2. Contestant Moana Moya Nase will be from Zone 2, Washington, Newark University Circuit. I'll pass on also adding a voice. We want to give you the opportunity.
Yeah, so for me, that's it. Me Judy say, my sister Ekasa Sisieno, what is really in the memory now has nothing to down yet. Is one of her emphasis on apologizing. Western cultures are easily apologize when they do something. But my argument is, when they apologize, are they sincere with their apology? Because yehuni de biya ewo ye abrabum ewo ye kuomu ye fiemu wo Western society, because it's easy for them to say I'm sorry, so they keep on doing the wrong. Until you ask yourself, is it better to go to ye kuomu dieno wone o penny for me ne matnase ene mwakasa mwatimu wase waka wo de makame de ya chirechiremu ya tie wase ya de ensachia yenseyem adebeche na yedi nkomo. But in the Western world, are they sincere when they say I'm sorry? Because somebody will say I'm sorry and they will go back and will still not talk to you because it's not sincere from their heart. But then you go back and tell and say na me titidiena na mi kromudieno, which one is better? And see, may counter attack
rebuttal.
So for men,
but you're kind of rebuttal.
Okay. Me so me counter attack here. Respect for the educated. Say sabe yeah ye ka se fie nyansa. Enye skuku nkuana ema ipe hu nyansa. Ye nananom enema bi wo kora omo nsua wo book mu, omo nsua wo ba bia enso omo tumi di omo nyansa ne omo adwen eye. Enti uba ye society mu a enye omo asebe omo akọ school pe e na yebu omo me yi obi wo hokora so nti school dem nso otumi kinkan twi tumi kan the bible enso wensi school dem da enti yen ye culture ne ye values no enye omo asebe omo akọ school pe e na ye de respect mo enti me nso me so brofo na o kan
patcho your time so yeah
Okay.
me rebuttal back me patcho me to me akọ ye 5 minutes and so yeah and go back to Mrs. Belinda spoke about individualism. Say omo obi feel say onunkwa is me, myself and I. Ebe to me aye ama na ye because say ba kunama obedu ntem. Maybe if I have to put it one way onunkwa akwa ebe. But yes ye titi mrenuma na ye de kwa Bible ma or catch ye say two are better than one because they have a good return in our labor. So ye nyina ye susom aye said ye ko ye tro kunkun ya ye nim say Nehemia ye okabo mu na sanko no nko na ko ya sanka entumi enkoye enti say ye de koyechi ne etumi akabom ne aye no say ye ba ko aye gina ye papa mu a egu a me feel say de ye ne ye kuyi ebe ko nanim ye ama ye nsom na che say ye kwa no me dase.
Okay, me patcho me what two are almost some responded to if it's okay. The face-to-face and educated, you know, patcho.
Me patcho zone 2 Marie.
patcho aye ne ye kasa sisi an.
Na patcho ma hu say ma mi so pejana nsa for zone
1.
yes, zone 1, yes.
So yeah. Yes, you responded to our rebuttal no, on face-to-face, you know, and education.
Yes, and other things that if you say you want to comment on.
Okay.
Conflict resolution na omukaye ne sister kan say ekwan Africa omufa so esiesie astem no omukohu omuho na omasiesie eno so na me encounter say eba ne saa ema asode koso eye adwuma because se obi oho a na onimo hene bi enti ode bekwa akoto ohene ne na ohene no aba abeka na amanetwa na ye hwe ye court sam so kra so a eno so eba saa ema bribe ebem any corruption eba ho e san say so bribe judge na asam no ba bia e wo say fa no say fa bonkuma ode befa nifa say wo say fa nifa so ode befa enti me counter say de omo sika ya no me ni omo anya adwene enti no me sisu bie mu say ye western ha e de na ye the best mpacho manuel.
Okay, and
Ma Elizabeth want to come in. Ma, yes, you can come in now.
And I mean, can educated. I say I can't face to face. Na face to face, you know. But your sister, I know now. Or respond to na. Okay, when it comes to educated, let me do this because I read about this one too. Again, no, yes, sisters, and I can no, but. One see once they face to face, yes, Metiasia we see I'm sorry, they continue to do it, but at the same time, so it makes them move on with no animosity. Unlike ebiana winyanya penny bi obeba ebi penny no kwa ba kofa no ye wie nsam ni nyina ka ye mu ba ko be feel se wa ho oba ye no unsa asama o kan nyina o kama we me kan it's so hard for for Africans to say manye ni ye. How we all be yes, not sister no, but at the same time, no, I think that is much better because even in our own Bible, as we study, no, Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, Or see, moreover, if your brother sins against you, you go tell him, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. You see, until no me feel say I know you're much more effective. Yenkoda and you know ho and yet say na obi we no on can so when I know bet na no can say any say. Let me go quickly to educated no as Sister Ekano. Yes, in Africa no. No, it's more about Dr. So so, Dr. This. We really they still respect the titles, you know, but the emphasis is say, okay, doctor, whether you are a medical doctor, engineer, whoever you are, yeah, you're CEO. Are you doing the job that you told us you are going to do? Are you doing the job as a doctor? Are you doing the right thing? And because of a half for Omo upbringing, they are not afraid to question, no matter what you have. They respect your position, they respect your achievement. But in a doctor, that is why your doctor's office or hospital, we can ask a lot of questions. Sometimes the doctors will ask you, but young African, yes, because there was so much respect, so Mimi feel said, for instance, Uko Ghana, how do you go to a managers or whoever they call themselves, what that is? It's all about, hey, where were a doctor? Hey, where were you MPO? Hey, we don't look at their competence and what they are doing, how they are doing the job. Unlike a Hadia, no matter how you see it, you respect them, but you are also free to let them know if they are doing something wrong. And to me, no, Emma, what can I say? Empuntu, Ekosu, Ewo, Emaimu. This is where I will end. Mrs. Tessabaka.
Me pacho ye what? Yeah, wait me asan kabim. Western culture. Zone 1.
Okay.
Me pacho. Mrs. Tane Kasano or can be about yang education. Or the can say quality education our Western world. Because we share even so we compare any yang African culture now. Fa education to Western world, ye fa education. Throughout that, Emma even your leadership different because senia ye chere wono eno na wo ye. Se wan ko entity mu a wuntimi endi obi anim. Ye de buy sorry mu a entity the best because I will say nipa we asumesi wo ye penyimu nti no obenya we ya basa oni nimdie na wanko sua sa nimdie na obeye den no akere anaso obeye den no adi ekuo nenim nti na me poki ho wo omomudie nim say elderly but yen hanom say no ye kire bibia na ye pese wo hu the outcome wo ko school kra na say akwalati mi bisa we ye say ne ba ye ba Ghana de because say ye di untimi mbisa penyimu bia say eba ne sen na we ye say into no me some stresses our point and say education in the Western world no better sing uko African culture now because omo de ehu ahye ye mu say untimi mbisa penyimu ase untimi en argue or ubetimi untimi kra mbisa penyimu say we ye ba ne sen na we ye say ba hanum scientific they would do when you and I would do one dance here. They have to prove to you, say, yes, we are real, we are. I see a provey near trail, say, we anyway, but Uko, your African culture, not the ever culture of one or mafa because it sounds said your kind, or your penny mountain, no, my giatum. Intimacy, me dear, make a cahono, medase, because culture, na young culture, ye trail at the crontia, yes, why you see, Tinqualano. Omunia omo respect and omankasa no kra no ema omu hu say de me ye eninti na menya sa response that's it
Often patcho me aribado if we say the business akai metiase safe fine good education no ho na emomu no nso no sa wo de call ye chi a ema ebuo respect ena ye de kasa sisi e kroma na enam say akura bi be gira Western world And I'm so free to talk. And I'm just combining me Lizzie, Eddie, Mrs. Belinda, boom, because they are free to talk. They can say anything they want. There's no respect among them. So I know, I know sounds, they don't know nothing. But so what the chia, the respect is there because of intitiena fifina bano. And you know, a master education or the education is there. And but the piano any a buono are combined and it makes it work. It makes it work for us. Chen say, you may be na or book munkwa dear no munim, but not respect baku pranka because they don't respect. Me that's it.
Yeah, the money na must moya dear. Yeah, penny for baby ha and yeah, best 2 zones, you know, yeah. Atlanta, Canada, and Washington, Newark, New Jersey circuit. Yep, I'm sure. So be free, yeah, my chance. Obi bet nipa baku free no person can be beer. Or bet me I can on contestants you but who free zone you want to contribute or you want to comment on something. We want to give you the opportunity before we go to our leaders. So Atlanta, Canada.
So from Pacho, Mensa was struck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
Your video na your Facebook, your me na your Ebenezer and I water into Zunina.
Damn Pacho, sorry, Kaka.
That's okay.
Yeah. Nah, me question comma the other side and I say I have Diano is better than and I say a yes in Ghana Diana and I say Ghana African deno. Yeah, my question is say a young Kolana like me 6 years and 9 years 10 years. I am no more baby sir. I have a baby fever. And so I to say I had Diano almost wrong. But as any African, is it right to say, as I say, young country, and as I say, young country, so later you be catch home. Me pacho the question kakanya me da say.
Papa, many of you make a sebia.
Mpatrai, oh, open kase, pacho bit makasa.
Yeah, we go in Atlanta, your friends at Toronto for. And I'm say one thing medical when you come to the Western world now, I'm say you know raises some important point to be me feel say very valid that when we come here beginning no timid not because say you know but the fact is that the way you are bringing the it also brings some kind of fear into now but now I always say what can we your Benjamin so we did now head the echo. Meanwhile now will be papa do argument and go to me and share. But because of that timidity, fear now we move from home into near to home. Now the other fire home. Oba has say ya only mukrom or pressure or becca. Because the more all expressing on so Nima Yaba corrected no are picking it up from there, no they go. Into only there are certain things that don't say or more your confidence of themselves when they are speaking confidently. Oh, yeah, so I didn't win trim, but into me express and I see in trims are near the home. But they are, passing on that knowledge to from kid to kid, and then what we say the innovations that are coming is also because of the fact they say I didn't know and they are expressing it. Yendiano, teacher say, and now master say, Nadia, and once I know about now, no about Trenadia, now go say, Papu, say, Papu. I'm thinking that the Western world, ni tradition ni ade na boa nkwala mo develop boa mo express your mo boa mo very innovative in things that they do and no boa my development ba e ba sori mu anipa no o kire na adua nye se o kire se na ni so ade but o kire se ade no dokoso no akoso yi nti there is that kind of respect, so I also attach to their moye no depending on the home that the person is coming from. I'm also want to say that respect na ye can Yako Ghana disrespect. If you fear nipa free mono, nipa if you free mono, it doesn't matter so Western world. And also Ghana, nipa if you free mono so buan the tia winyano ebuam nipa ne but how no so what they respect and they can't want and my open because you are not timid, you know it and you are able to express it. Madam Nancy.
Good point.
That's a bit brave. For the money na say
so from patrol my mind but so I saw because I said yeah
like so be aka meaning so at the end of the day we want to come up to something, so feel free
hey
me patrol I mean about my yama vida and kasa. Vida so vida wait. Okay, vida kasa we are near Bazo 1 for now.
Okay. Kakra Canada Atlanta so pese sade ka ho bi mu pese che say Western culture no ho hia na say chen African culture ne say. See kan bibi free Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 Bible say nimdi a me man nimunti ena omo essay and omo yera. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because they reject knowledge. Africa, eden ayehu, you reject knowledge bebre. Obi yarea, you didn't be hospital, ama nimdia nyankopon di ama doctors. Ahwe nipa no aboa na wo yare sem ne de empaibo aka ho. Ni ama no so, yes honhom ade ne de nakoto asori fi wo kwani abo ni chen na oda ho no ma na wagu akola ko school kra na se onimade too much a oye gifted a yes akwedo oye be ifo onim niam dodo but krom ya say akola ko school na so onimade kakra ne ye na fini class e ne ko gifted class ubo se no omo kire nkwala no de ombe nto ombenyi no they know a lot of things omo betimi ayede aboa oman no. Enti Africa the never be brave or no it's like we are not using the knowledge erade ede amaye no bibia we attribute to some obi ewu kura no sema we asini yiri na eku no mi wa ye nkohwe the cause of nipa no eya rene ye de oba na akwa punishment bi mu ya kwotwitwa ne tiri ho ene that kind of ade no. Enti I think so all these things we do no eye nimdia Africa for ye nim na yenye ya adwen se yebesua na minim se sa nimdie na ye ba krom ya behu nti na menu mienu ye ni abaji kro we mu no se ba e na omo so ye omo ne ma te se de Africa ye ne ma na nkam ji se menu mienu ke sa akoda dada ba se no e se de omo si atoto omo ne ma na omo sua ade da bia na omo mfa bibia ema be ye omo mfa bibia ema abusua o hu ne hu se me de me free ohia mu nti no mintimi nya hwe no they push people to be able to do. Yes, on my way, a mind of opportunity. And you know, when you're remuna so be ma ho so be keka ho kwa dia, you can do something. But Africa, we don't see it like that. So ma me no papa ni bia that's it. Wan hwe ya onimade pa na obetima bibi nsuso na waka ontumi coming out today. And to me there, I still stand with this point. Say Western culture no ye pa anti na menu mienu ene ye da so ti he. Me da se.
In your bad vida.
So for them to make a be.
The patrol zone 2. Your mama quine nipper 2 Casa Free on Zoo Nasa. Yes.
They can't hear you.
No. Zone 2. Washington, Newark, New Jersey circuit. Zone 2.
Papa Mpacham to me can be.
Yes, I crowd to me can be.
That's it. America and say Western culture zone 1 for air katim. Mini abaya some or can say see a go to free Jose or see nim dear me man nimti or moira. I am no crapa yam penning for tete no more. Yamfa and him for an impening for near did the baby session or Monsano. Omo nko school kra no say ote krotia so oyo hin okete bi afo ma ye teten ase a ohun say aha ye nsuo ho no agya to ho aha ya de ba chichire school ya de ha ba ye janambia ya de ha ba gu border playground obetimi atete ni nyina de agu ho ebra eni anu ya adwen say ya ba western world ha ni aba ba di nimdie senia Hosea kan yi ombaje di san wo mo achi ba ye no yenya lawyer for ni doctors bebre a omo adwen mu aba bebie wa hom sa ba ye ye mpanimfo no a anko school attitude gu ho no ena wo atonto ni nyina wokọ ensuo ho abehu se ensuo paani ni aton asase na kosi ensuo mu twan na ensuo no ye tu anwe agu mu fele ekire ensuo yiri ensuo to ya na ensuo yiri fakuru ọmaamu ni nyina ensuo betimi ayiri afa na ese no ọmụ a ebeje ntete ya ha esa aba ye betra nkonwa so no asase no ye ton no baako a enso yen ye betimi aton no mprenu ye betimi aton no mprenso enti langas for abu ewo kuro ani nkura hodo so ye timi kunkum ye ho adwitwa ye binim ho asekai nimdia no a ye beje ne ha esa de ko ye nintra se ye kase ye ho nya ena ye hwe parliamentarians wo mo ane presidents ahodo a ekoso yi a omo abaje ntete ya wa hano na asa akogu parliament yan hwe de ekoso ho enti nim de entrance ho no akakofo ha e de abra bibifo sanke ya ma ya mpanimfo no edi yeso a omo ani ebu omo se omo ye twewurafo no enko omo timi e kire ya ni ma pa bebre e ma ya adwen mu bu e ya ye hunu se ha ade we ye de ato ha yi daatwe ebebu anchirima ntimi de mususu se nim de entrance ho ne aba abaje no ha no eno ne ye de se ye man wa bibimem papa mdase
no ka
abisa for ma hu se opanyini kudom akra pejanensa ye man opportunity na ye ntie bibi kakra mfre no ho agbampacha wo mute.
Yes. Yo, so for me that's now so you were New York. Now kakran person me can say omaya e wo mu American man. Tadi enyim no. So we American omo pledge. That's what we omo currency now. I say called you trust. Na say microphone ye share. Na say Christosomo ye share say. Yes, you share Christosomo wa America. Say Oma edi kan ye ti o men edi Christ edin and say Christosom and chance and na say na ehu no and na so be brave ya che say esisi wa enipa enkom ni nyina gina say and na omo edi asori omo edi kwei so kwei mo mpanifo no omo mpre my kenya nya sam school omo mpre my mompaye and then sorry, so you know, I be done disco, be done marketplaces. Sorry, I done marketplace. Jesus craft fought against that. Now maybe a chair for conference now. North American mission, then I mission diocese. Now suffer back, suffer penny back, complain say, Roman Colan, you more suffer. I'm saying I sounded you, and you suffer from no daughters promo. Admire woman. Hospital, as you supposed to say housekeeper cried to me, did doctor at him. Oh, Yanka, and yes, a bassa. Now, when we are your coma, say now, January 60, asɛm wɔ si wɔ ha parliament asɛm wɔ si yɛ sɛ nyame nko a nyame ni mu a enka ade nyama bebree ɛbɛba na umiyɛhwɛ ayi covid sɛ ba yi kyɛ sɛ asof krom asofo mu bi ma false information sɛ vaccine no wo a obenya ayi yɛde chip bɛhyɛ wo mu mamu ne ade ɛma nipa nwɔ hwɛ krom parliamentarians ne ade wo mu ministers ne wo congress people ne senators ebinom ampo adwene sɛ anaasɛ wo mu preach sɛ wo mu false information sɛ covid yi wo kɔ vaccine no a ɛnyɛ ama ɛnɛ covid yi anka ba ya anka ɛkɔ mu yi ɛnɛ yɛnya variant bebree yɛ bi ni delta saa bere di enya nti ya culture no deɛ ayade a wo mu ayi wo free nyame som ho nti sɛ culture no asɛe saa western world in general no asɛe that so kakra me wokan amen
paper show zone 2 obi bika nyɛ saa de a na yɛma Christian kwan na te say yama yɛgya ma mpanifo because we see it me manage your home with time on so ntimpacho Washington New Jersey circuit mpanifo akase obi bika biem from all contestants no obi bika
Seven passion will be bigger.
okay
If I to make us, sir.
Mpacho
Okay, but African culture on me baking. Me pacho, ye from African no send ye to 1 year now. We just acquire my mini aquara cofro basa. Akwadaa no te wono sɛ ne maame bia ba ɔsɔre ɛmase krom ha no so no akwadaa akɔforo ba se apɛ panyin bɛsi apa ɛsan sɛ wɔtwa ne ticket ne maame no kura mpa ɔne ne tiɛ ɔntumi nka nkyerɛ ne ba no sɛ ɔnsɔre ɛma panyin ɛntena so but Ghana maame ɛne ne ba te ba si na sɛ panyin bi ba kwabra sɔre na ɔna nantena so ɛno yɛ buo kɛseɛ ɛde ma yɛn and if you take you also Saranopa, not say, oh, my be a consumer crowd, over to me, a buano, say, mammy, for sense, you be mount. I had a young consumer, dear, Utimeka, and I pay so no. Come on here, yeah, Pola Bremono, a quadaco, Siada, one quite sorry, Ubanya, Ubash, as school and a pa. The baby shall say, oh, no, quite sorry. One quite sorry. A dear family a can was all them. Titan baby sound. The chrome has said no so. Or be a colony be a dinner fire the farm would ye do a peck and a way. Ghana so no and testa. Uko tosa for there be nam hosia for war qua. Why a bonnet? And any mamma no and any papa no. About Siano, I catch and say, through what your way and yet, and Sacran were caught. Ako catch any mamma, and mamma cross and to a talk of it. I dear we and we will pints or bow and I will tear war. Chrome Hano. Who got tia will be back? I'm an aye. Who got tia? I could not crow wow background in it from one. Who ye be big a crabby or some if police amount. Bow in it from one. Ye be big a crabby or some if police amount. Ye from Ghana and Tessa Africa and Tessa. Pacho Medas.
Papa Mpacho, you work for the area now.
Papa Mpacho, last one.
Papa Mpacho can make a back or so.
Yo, my jump on my. But your man will be any about my Felicia. My jump on my Mpacho.
Papa Mpacho, Medase. Papa Mpacho, said the Yaki Kenya, I cut both sides in name Momono. Ghana culture no are best in a sense, say. I have say. Obi kura when you champ crying from Monica, a champion. Ya. And maybe me come down for the hall. I cried who I say, hi, Monica. Me catch any man was who says I said I butcher from Qualadia. I butcher from Qualadia say. Name or me man who are my normal friend, auntie, and I'm sitting baby. Me the I am you, me call. One here that should be good and massy. Because here baby a fino. Ya control the abani you share be a kayan yet no. And this idea near touching it, near Cassay. I butcher Qualadia's hand or to say. Ye wo maame no obekire no no. Wa wo your bad time na no ba ne tifie no. Enti ne ye kasa kira bofra no kwan a won fa so. Na onyini a wanye den. Wan firi ho. Na me ni pani total bi gira be from Monica na champa ma wa ha me. From me grandma na mama bia. Oho. Enti o say ye mano ene ye mom hu say baby ye de ye mfiri ha. Na me ka che me mano say sesi abide ka se ye kwa. Me ka say me wo ha ti bi ja wo ha. Me do ka me ho akọ. Me nya wo ha. Unya ha ni. Baby amekọ ne ho na ntini ye se baby ogan gina no. Na ne ba gina ho. Nti na o say ye no ye ma ye mano hu say ye mfiri ha akọntro ne aba ne aba wo ha. Nti me kwa me de wo kọ. Nti ye culture no wo panimu a obi chon 1 year kra either say sister, brother, uncle, wofa. And me body din we sa na said episode for Moses to hey Moses. Come on now. I will see you try to ba to be abia na hwa de weapon ho. And I say ya mu wo mu nti no. O mu nsura de. Ghana, what just say o ma me be hyew. Krom ha o tia obi abaka say you are not my mother. Obeka ne ya wan hwa kra ko tia o kwakusu. Nti no ye de ya ba ha ne de. Yensusu ma ha emra ne ye de. Na said e be ya de ma no koye kromu a yankwa nkosere ye ese ka se o ma na o magimi na ado o ma ba no enko ntia wo mo do mu ne hwe na wo ma me na wanti ti o ma ne ye no kwa na wo ne yesre no matter what so do sika ba no ye be sre ye de ma ne hwe nti yo so o de me kan ka wo ni pa so me da ase
Ma Monica me da se na emum di ka te wasem na ka me kan se hi Monica kamara kan ma Monica
sabu kwa hampa
Oh Moses. So Ben Moses.
Dog.
Makabi ana
Dog mpacho me ba mo ho.
Yo.
So na prof so late
but
mpacho contestant no ka se wiasa na ifiri na ye move akọ zo 1. Yes.
That's so for. Enti me da sujna me oh sasa wan pacho o bekasa o.
Okay, me kasa wi ana o kasa.
Pacho ka mamu ntuli short o mu mienu nyina na munye ntema do bia beka bia.
Yo me pacho ntina ye da sujna mu sede ye mpanyimfo na ka no. Ye wa kwantuo mu ena ye san so eye a Christopher ma emekuo ma ebeye feri ebeye ya say wakodru baabi na nam say waba kwantuo mu ntino eniema ensesa ye ye mayete ase ye say wo nsa hohura wo ne mpanyimfo didi ye a Christopher ma yentete ye ho say Christopher ma said the bedroom baby because said me avoid that some no kind nye no cre but suamro so no mbesuan wo western and no mo de akwa say Africa na emom no say ye gina so et said ye mpanyimfo to aso tetemre no e na ye to aso a sebi ye keka kwa yes antefo ye nimpa say ye mpanyimfo ni bebre e free London e de call Ghana enti de ekoso no ye freedom no Bible me ati asese suamuro so no es ema arewo ye de besua no western ye contain no na ye nyi bi free mu ye mfa bi said ye be ya ye be kura ye kru ye mu ye aye mu as Africa for ye kru ye pa ye kano kura pa na entete no but nam said ye ya besua enti no bi ye de pa ema Muma yen twaso say ye de nyankopon de kire ye no madam ase
yeah me pacho na me so me ka about vulnerability ne timidity ana omoka ho asan me feel say sa na ye ma no keep us in check say who say ye hanom akora who say ye values no ye tumi de ye ni kura kasa kire nipa enti bia oba bi kura na oye bibi na wo bo wani kire na otumi jai so wo dis value na sha na wa kire na sa de no otumi jai enti enye se bia ye hye ye so say ye maye nye bibi nti ye ka ye nhye ti say ye culture mu ti say bia be ma nsu ye ka se be ma nsu ade ne ye oya nsu ye ka se be ma nsu enu nyina kire enye se bia ye vulnerable but e ma ye hu ye pese hu se o ye be ma o ye fieti o ye ugine se o gina brane e ma wa kokoduo nti ye say positivity bia ye de ma ana hope so we are be man na we da fia no so da ebusua no e say me bia no ugina ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ bi a yɛka wahyɛ anaasɛ yɛpɛ sɛ bɛyɛ expressive nyame nso mede ka ho no nea yɛwɔ no sɛ yɛsɛ in losing your cultural values is losing your identity. So we need values in the culture, not just say you don't even exist. You want to pay for me that must say.
Your sisters, nyame adwuma na hwɛ.
Na ma wo
Minim sɛ ade ampanifo edi gu epono so ma ye yanhwe ya 2 hours no kura sha. In fact, but I nyina ne say yade a debate a yes started. Na out of that, yet to me a develop manual be na aye handbook be amayen. And you go swear ye mahu say Mammy Felicia Pijan and sa me mammy Equia Banson so Pijan and sa Minia Bashel and so Apijan. So when I was on 2. I be sure for me pamcho. Obia ewo less than 1 minute. Na fe yen code zone 1. Na yema Christian any nipa ho so enkasa. Na yewia yema ye papa no masofo doctor nketia ana profun so ewo ha so kwatuni akona lay chairman so nti minim say ye be kasa the whole day but minim say a chance ye be kwa adwuma nti ye pese manage because we are societies in this circuit ni nyina beto so akọ discuss ye bomb price before synod no we can present something to bishop any lay chairman executives ni nyina na yetimi dia synod nti ye da mas nti mpacho me mama Felicia epeja ne nsa ye wia ne aba mama Equia Banse ho ye wia ne akominu aba Sheila so ho ma Felicia ma mpacho wa me too ho ma wa less than 1 minute nti bono to for my
maybe me pamso pi de me kan say me so me ka kakra fa education ho said ye wo ka say Africa education ye de ba ha na ya be ye timid and accident mu hwe no de mpesa me ka kakra fa ho no say Saudi akura bi fri Ghana eba na wako school kakra na obani ha cell phone ko school a ehunu modern ba ya no so obo enam say ye Africa for no kakra bi na wo ha nti say wo ko school na say western for no wo 200 na say Africa for 10 pe na frame a set ye bia no ebia na Africa for 2 ebe ya de na say wo for ya de na nkire say wo ya de cha Africa for wo mu ya de ncha Africa president so from say see ya wo mu ya so for wo mu krom ha ani asofo abrofo mo krom ha so wo nyina gya se ka nyam sama kire ne a mo amfo madwene hwe de eye Africa sofo Africa sofo ebe ka nyam sam ni bibia mo hu se yes osum nyame papa aha kwa Africa for abrofo asori a garara so be ka bia papa hu nti de omuka ani de kosi ye kra so ezo say has so kanyam some church Bible no ma hu study onyam sifa so we sha ka 1 second pe we sha sankura mu ko school no so ko hospital sa nurses directors ni na be brave Africa for nurses director nursing one ye be Africa for abrofo nurse for kakra bi na wo mu a wo hwa wo mu so ye nti se ye ba ye no se ye bedru ha no ye nyansa ye different Africa ba ye no yetimi de toa so ma ne ye pa ye senti kakra bi metam nti ka mo bebre ka enso tam nti matwa so
mama dasi mama do ba call society no secretary mu because ho so mo kwa akoye wo ho na want to be together yo mama ma Equia Banse ma pacha wa me too ho
won's on mute
man pacha wa me too ho ma wo mute
all right yes. This is what okay
man pacha
okay so me makanye respect with Canano. Oh, the Africa. No one me who there. Yeah, ordinary at a bit Trifus Benkum
ɔde agye abotɔ ɔkɔkya pupu a mpanyin ka ho afiatra webo sua no atra do wɔkɔkya po a wɔde wɔn nsa tebi na fie wɔkyerɛ yɛde ka ifini di na mɛyɛmfa ingye ade mfi panyin no hɔ and aha mpanyinfo no kora wofi Ghana bear no wɔn to correction wɔ asɔre dem a wɔde wɔn nsa atebi na wɔde to correction Jesus says the panyin fi habem reba no matter how I address and now school atar the way you act to do more FFF no so also banchi wana pempem na anje amukro magasim anje banchi no ansia afa nkofie okwa ohum no katra na duma wodi be du po nya binyi ifie mofra be no wo bu adese aha mofra be ya wodi won start bi to correction ni won ma me no so won kan kire won da won nya ne da in da ya if you want country one better of a started being to correction. Maybe.
Amen. My that's it. Bacho Minya Bashila. Less than 1 minute.
Some when you bajo me about baby kaka na me phone go in and out.
Yes, I'm bajo me that's it. Bajo na me be me kakra no. My name is no. Mother, no question. I'm better be busy there. As in there, you know, culture no. Oh, ye, too much that to was in the Echo Ghana, Yama ya complain or Hano. A becker there is now taking over when you look room. Into no, as so first, Miss Maya and Abredo, Miss Manot, no, as in the Otterdama. And that's a son or so here where supposed to have it. So from what you're questioning, you may that's it.
Yo, yeah, that's it. Open Doris Patrol, hold your fire answer because we know you know with the same level. At the end of the day, everything is coming to us. Yanko zone, zone 1. No matter Doris, who needs zone A, who needs zone 1, is zone 2. Into there, you know, ni mpenifuni yo yama zone 1 for Christian Edikan Pedanans, Pedanans. Opinion, Father Roma.
Yo, Papa, quick. We did, but Mecca. Adia, your culture, bleeding, and breeding, corruption and disorder. Yenya Eberman Ekasan or say, you be idea or has a near Kogana. Now, ya say, or man, any idea. But the question is, why says Anya Mania or Hanagana? It means that near man, of course, where your mind, your culture near the allow. Them example. So be a bonnet, I will room her. Once I'm running that was a sunny pan, as I'm running the dear, and found in Papa, I'm running in Baby Pepe, and found so your president, and found so your parliamentarian. Okay, obi abwania na ohene atutu ntumegu no kopacha nti yes ade ni the next time no encouraging crop say we wi a ubenya obi abegina wati na apacha wama nti what is happening now with that culture and say because of sania manenti ama corruption because nipa no this guy wi a ubenya crop akopacha wama nti breed this say corruption no me ade no and at disorderliness na America no and they say semrano ho na ke de be ya adwuma se na etia nipa no ni me say me yes we this is my punishment and nti enya afi na ye bakwa kwa say we nti ye ne say but to we dia say ye be ye no yes na orderliness emma that's it
but just so zone 1 Toronto, Atlanta.
Pacho contestants here to be Kemby.
Pacho to be Kemby.
Contestants you bamho. Yama other people no nipa be to nkasani abamho.
Me Pacho Atlanta, Canada, Atlanta. Biden.
Yo man Pacho, sister Biden kaso we are.
Yeah.
Me Pacho, I'm say zone 2 for no. They're trying to condemn the Western culture by saying, Western culture, omumbu de yempenifono, abesia de homokoye no de nehu. But the question we also have to ask ourselves, say, do we see what we see in Africa here. You will never see somebody, excuse my word, peeing outside. And so some of us will go home back to Africa and pee outside because you feel Africa there. Why are we doing that? We came here to learn something, but Esan say your culture not allow us to do things freely. Obianya some I said everybody di kaka no or penny okodi nanim. Ekrom ha mra ye adwuma, Africa mra nya adwuma. Your culture ne mra nya adwuma. Na nafo titles akese. Me ya ade sesi ana me papa na ye ohene a odi manim a ye be yim afiri mu. Recently yati se nipa akotwetwa nipa nam de akɔhye fridge mu. Ede na be kwa akosi se embra anya adwuma a we will not even hear anything about it. Enti emakro na ankasa kra no emu yehu because embra enye adwuma ewo kro nim. Na de on say uko Roma, uye de Rome for nso ye de eye. Ekro bia e wo ne culture ne values. America for omo culture ne say omo hu a they see said obo din a adding sister na bra no that does not mean the person respect you. And you know, obo din a that does not mean so the person don't respect you. Omo respect pa. More so no. Ehinfa ewo Europe na say America hanu hu say abrofo bi atena se say ye celebrate African culture. But then ye hu e krom. Esan say ye hu say abrofo no culture ne ye ntino. Yesu so mo so abrofo ko bi okwa ne yesi no hene ewo kro bi so no odi hene wo ho. And answer abrofo kro dru Ghana, look at the way we pamper them. We allow them to do everything that we want to do. And then I hu recently hu say China for abeji ye kro ya boso emra ye adwuma. Can you go to China and do that? Oma be say chrono kwan ne asase galamse ni ade. You can never go anywhere as an African and do that. The same thing amenu mi ne etikro we mu a ye kwa adwuma mu a we are so careful. Ye mpese ye benya problem because emra ye adwuma u default ya we ye late ya e wa adwuma mu a ye either say be yiwadi and also benya points eto so be yiwadi ba Ghana de na ehu culture no emwa ena ema ekro no ayebasa enti no say if we all no yaba krom say if you are going to learn the Western culture and pick out the good things ayehu aha na yekro no so ebeyeye da bia meka say yesisa abrofo nyina dom kogu anasa America fo ana Europe fo nyina kogu Africa near the Africa fo begu Europe anasa America we will come here and destroy their land and destroy everything they've done and omobeko Africa akoye hoye ama yen
2 minutes atwam
medase
Miss Medase
we now obesa some corner dunti
Mbajo mami can get to 1 minute.
Man so zone 1
Mbajo zone 2 zone 1 me mabajo me sapen sofo
ma zone 2 for the yawie mu
zone 1
Atlanta Toronto
sofo mbajo me sa also
man bacho
yo sister senyami adwuma na hwe me pa ucho bebre de me kaka de me nua ya okasa asesi ene se Ghana ye nyina ye free ho sa Ghana na ye so proud of no and ye ntumi mfa ye nsa ensi ye bo enkasa we are so proud of Ghana enam enema ekoso ewo man no mu enti ye ntumi enkasa enema no bio sese ye wote ha se na wo pese ukọ Ghana ayem hyiehie wo empaye na wo bo se wonyame mo ho ban na wode wokọ a wasan de waba asomduam muma ye nyina mfa ye ni nto fam na ye nhwe how many people are ekofie se oh me ko vacation na me ko enakakra na bibi enkoto no ene nukredie enni o man mu ni senti amache se umami bo upapa bo abontin sunio they treat you equally enyema ensese onipa edidi ni nua yonko no na ye di deal all because of sikasem any o man mu a emu ayeden no Na emre bia ni oman a ebo nipa a ewo mu ho ban so a etise woda bonten na bibia em protect wo. Enti ye ba ye western side hanso a miti he se me bia bi punu kura to one time ikwa adwuma me ba ye na me hu se me punu da ho. Enti na I was wondering say bia obi aba ha say ne bia but me yure fie me ho ena me ja punu no ho koye. Na say ye Ghana, can you imagine what will happen? Enti ye nyina ya ba ha ya besua bibi. Na bibi a ya besua no wa ha no ene na me stress ye nyina ye mfa ento yakoma pron so na ye kọ saati bia no a ye de afri ha ye besua no wa ha no ye mfa nkọ ye krom ho na ye mfa nkọ kire afofra wo mo nso sabi wo mo enim ehu nim de no na eya awerɛho eya yi asase se wokɔ Ghana pa chese woni pa woni no besusu adwene kora na eya den because the moment ya wo be ka kire ne say oh me pese me yese no the same people are going to attack you.
Okay.
Me pa eboni say ye betimi abo awurade mpa ye na wama oman Ghana so na ye nyina so yetumi adi ensesi ye bo say we are proud of Ghana. Ye dan ya ye nchire ne ho ye besan akọ. Amen.
Amen, Mama Dasi. But ye fa ma Hannah and ma comfort or more zone 1. Nti ma Hannah mpacho bit makasa.
Yami na edma na hwe papa.
Na ma
de akodo.
Me Dasi pi. Mpacho pi. Amuso ma jono kakra. Na me nchire mu kakra. Mezaba ma aye hina aye ne de. Ya wo Western world. Yan Western world mbrano oye juma ankasa. Ayankasa na yese mbrano. Inti se ekwa Ghana na police nyi oko speeder. Ibi anyi ho a obebisa na asam osande oye police nyi. But eba yan Western world here police nyi eko speeder. Wunyanko police otumocho. Osande imbrano oye adwuma nti onyimde adza oriye no wanye ne ye nti wache no ontum kaka nkyere ehene de o wache mo nti kona kebel wonyu bezi embra dama embrace nti mesre sisters aye na ya ba Western world yerusua aha why de mukun na tembi oka na asami de o danka abrochiro e de school ebe na se ebosua wadi na ewia na akono wonyankoso asana aba na we ebosua but ahen ye be no ye na adesua na yerusua no ya ye no overdose ye bibia it's overdose ye intimate sisters ame mo eye membe na mo hwan wo Canada na so waka fancy wo read fancy Bible yemu nipa hen na wotum watcha womba mfanti ni na yankasa na yedo tete yemba no wofie ntumasre yenu papa na ye one wo yenu krom Ghana no yemfa ahaze papa no so ka ho na yemfa balance na yemfa mbo yenu bra na yetum yepa yeda checho yenu emanu mawaye meda CP
fine that's it ma comfort.
Yeah, so penny me that's it. So penny pacho the Kenya and that's so cap points no one as I say the can the cap points in home.
The secret judge, you know, we have a secret judge or
And the maybe can a neutral and was on 1 10 year me post the do baby and cap points no one up my chile magin kakra. Because
my audience now I do and go against you now because yeah may cheap you. Yeah, you may penny for Nakasa. In fact, while him said yeah, she say 9:30 no. They say a corporate.
But you and you're not the Amede can we the ya this year. I mean, say you can't no more be brain canker about education, and there was so much emphasis on written word. Now, me perceive so we should be Acts chapter 17, verse 26. Okay, so from one man, God created all nations throughout the earth. He decided beforehand that they should rise and fall and demarcated their boundaries.
Enti yen bi before onyame nyansa mu no bo yen egu baby a odi yen gu ye no ma yen nyansa ye de ye no ma. Enti no ewo mu se oba abrofo mu a omo put so much emphasis on written word, and then the transfer of knowledge is all through writing. But yen so bibi to say your nonsense, bibi to say your folk tales, and also ye do onyame dum yen ya is a way of creating knowledge and also transfer of knowledge. To bon se wona na betimi achiwa no wakati tinsem ni na or the actual. You are also expected to so carry on. That is what we describe as oral tradition. And that is yes, so kwanya yedi de and I say yedi kreti nim de. Na ni na eno so ye. Na eno so ya de a wo betimi afa so ehunu ade. Because come here research me used to storytelling and it was accepted. And to my value yen so ye no ma. Yen so yes yan say so mu ye ne yes yan ya etimi de yen koyanim. Afen so bibi te say when ya a ye when ya sem ubotwa ya say ukọ counseling eye na so no be set to say the anuanu makoye won penin for ho a omuso ni yen kasa. And then it doesn't waste time. It's also cheap. And yes, I feel like sika amobi ako cancel. And it's a year up to nothing alcohol griefing or be bed bow with griefing. No, a busiani in a bechesia, near in a barber bow, no grief. No, and that one to you grief well. Than so be professional person, a barber bow. Ain't you no so and what the American idea also say you want no maybe one. I almost say if you are this year policy up, but you know you crew ya. A boy, I mean, associate me with ye ma. Anyone want one more now, we also talk about resource. You see, oh, you say your chrome, you see, dying as see her, yeah, galam say, but we show more by exploiting ye resources pa, and ya broken on bedi yes, so no. By exploiting your resources pa, ebe ma, ebe true you good, and ya quiet any baby, essay. And you know, there is some sense of science, science there, your objective. Oh, science there, your objective, but there is some aspect of myth about objectivity. And you know, many objective said your science approval. Everything is subjective. Just a bibiano, what do you want, Jenny? But one share be also the more any science, any dear, oh, Nina, but then be, whom you know. And on at times, yeah, kind of say, networking and now connection. And whom you know, yeah, Ghana, no phone so, and our Western world also no corruption. Waha, Mamma Yenny meets to one show ya womb. And it's when I made this source, I come and say, Yenny, no, Mama Yen balancing on money in a who say, and ye no money in our name, and then in our so na a yet, Tiam balancing in you. Papa Mpacho me that's it.
Abisafo we dey mesremo munyina moya de moti obi ampeja ne sabi na said me ma be there is a dinkra epeja ne san ma less than a minute. Nti ka obeti maka de nanka wo kana nanka afeya ma empenfo na bam. Man Mpacho wa mute you.
But on the name person, me can't say, yeah, Africa for no, yeah, Christopher Pa, yeah, some yummy said your wedding can. Then so say, especially nurses now can't say this and woman. Uko Ghana says here, the way a nurses will treat patient, say, oh. Ubi be the hospital cry now yam shishu komua fancy u Filipino or no Philip mount. But America handsome. Obi nurse ni Philip will pay. Oh, Philip just our sympathy mount. Yeah, now will come and I too. Yes, also can yeah, Kuala so I did lefty to collection. A being so a lefty. Miss me will be a lefty. Ma can't say, or ye be was sour tra, or papa a genie, son or the pen was a me, or yeti. Ma can't come say me can't, and 5 lieutenant, so lieutenant, I just say, I can't go. Well, and I train so
Ghana one says yeni obi etia mfansa abawa anakura ya akwatin the way you treating kwala no so ya Christopher obi mpo didi ma akura na aduane papa mani ni o na nsen ya kwa obi woni mfansa ni house boy ono aye aduane papa edi na che say ni house boy ni de ekom de no na oyi body man say onko no nkodi na ya ayoro ho so ya ba betra ha nti ye fili saa de ye tiase se ne na oye ne enye nti ye culture ye niema bebre no ho se woni broni aye adwuma broni timi fa brum pra na me wo manager bi a me ba beginning e ho aye fi broni ne pra se Ghana ni ye boss a wo ho Ghana ni on fa obe show so ye boss on prada anasa o hepo na ye say di e ho nkomo mfa nse wa ka asem na enipa na o de kwade daada eya ne yempo se wo sanso aba adwuma obewo wo ase from ma wo ma na adwuma ni ho na omu hia nipa enso na oboa nti niema bebre no se ya ba ha ne se yesua ahanso die because ahafo no se woni broni ye adwuma wakatua obetima atum se bibini be di so pe na adwuma na asai enso ye Christopher nti niema bebre nyankopon se ye nkyere say ye ne enkyene efata ene asase so efata na ye disesua ye ho
Yeah, that's the man. Maybe a dribema so for Yabema doctor so for penny Dr. Nketia Abem na ononso aka bibi dog butani nyana say ye pese emeko pese omutimi nya bibi a ye betimi develop na say handbook bi a ye betimi ayusu e wada osisimu enti na ma debate nti wada roma
omunya
I ye we are debate ni nyina no they want to come out of a handbook a manual bi
okay for
ye betimi ayusu on North American Mission Houses
yo me das Eja Moses me chiamu nyina me dwena hwe topics na mutrit no very important emu hia pa na meni agi ho yie na kasafo no nyina no bia make the point yie pa na culture kasa no one topic and you discuss no a way of life of a group of people kwanya en pe binu mfaso bo ombra and obia wo ko so a wo de bona bra no tumi mfa obi de anya wo de there's no way obi de de wo de nti ye wo free no ese wo hu no way of life na wo faso na wo de bo bra na ya ba mo fro so nti ma akoye miyunu ha na ha ya me de se ye free Ghana ba ha no still ano ye participate kwa chawa si ye to abedin ese culture si eware gino eba ho ade na ye aye feso aye fro eye culture ede ne ye die se ne ye sister se ne ye si asom aja se tonyom ni na no ye culture eye de aba se na ahemfo ekweyi a de wo mo se dress esa na de nyina no eye culture ewo Ghana ede aba ye ni na no eye wo papa ne bone ne wo mu bia wo de ba ha no se ba sikasem no ani mo da sikasem no eye wa ha na adesua no so no eye wa ha ba so adesua no so no ye sua ni ye se ye de eye ewo Ghana no ye kwa na adane e be sua ha de kwa Ghana na because ni ye culture no ye go sua all right be kwa na adane se ba ntete a eye mo fa ntete a wo se eye Ghana for ye culture mo fa no omo no nimidie na se omo discipline adebu no de e wo soro kura se na akura and say mo fa no kwa Ghana bo so matom kura ha bofra otumi fa tuo ekɔ school ekum kola be 30 40 ye kana pe kum di a anka ha wa pa so na Ghana ma Ghana no na me say esuanti no kakra na pie ba ha no so de bia ni pe wu ha de bia tutu kum nipa de bia wi ade nyina ante kro no bone de o ba bia ente na me kan say e kwacha na de hu hia say ye de be ye dwuma na aboa ye say be fa obi de e de aboya bra se ye ka awolja ye pa ye kwacha wa Ghana no do wo jare wo de ba ha no mu ja wo le pa se Ghana Since omo culture no say I want city no enko yi papa de fa aware ya enti ma aware bebere wo a ma Ghana fo no wana ware no e besa because e besa fa suman e de ware e fa abuchefo suman de ware mema no fa ma no bi fa enti ma ware no nye papa aya hu sa de bebere no so mo roommate obi abọ na bra so we na den enti ye ko fa obi culture ya wo de a e man tumi emwaye e ya me de say akena mo United mo ansa me sa ba ha bio no wo hwe se abrofo no som no Ghana United for no so mka so fa abrofo no som a emwa won enti yam de say omo afa Ghana force no esom because dia kwacha omo de mfa abrofo kwacha no mfa nsom because abrofo kwacha no asom no papa no bi kan ye no enti Ghana for no omo wo ha no do omo sha abrofo no se de nso omo fa Ghana force man no omo de ebo on bra awati ase ndi Ghana fo ntontwene kura se ya ba ntiro ya to yakwa to akene se die dwon wa be no ne se eyesika system no ne disodisua no na ma ha na wosoro este ne Ghana na me se ohia wo Ghana ntino Africa ntino ma basa ba ye ba se ekwacha party a still ya ntontwene we are still having our culture here and leading the culture as it is ya ntontwene kura ya to ebedin ya bibia pepepe ntino ya bo bia abaso wo kasa yedi nkomo no mana me kasi jwa se e kwa twene yontontwene na me se eyenti yontontwene sela no e hodwuma wa ha na yeso asoso a betumi aboa yen na ama yemu se yefi bebi na baaye na nya ha na yefiri ede yebekọ yenchi. Thank you.
Dr. Dasi Bebre abisuafo yebema so for pension Professor Kwachinu Akonso yebema ononso akasa Prof Pacho yenim say hazo we your area bebre pa yenim say that you be the executives Asia will consult you the African cultural values and Western cultural values yenim say what you throughout
nyame adwuma na hwe Adofo menia fam kakra enti mon formason femme na nsemfua kakra bi a me de beka de anuanom aka no ho no mo atene yie medikan enna wona oye sa hyehyɛ ase papa mama ya men adesua no akọ yie na sana no onua no a okotu anyamesem free Matthew say eni onua enkohyiamu na amonsiesie montam no ojabi wo mu oyi ba ko pede toso no ehwa na ohofa so ne etoso no megiso de ka ho anka na sam no won kanti no wa fa so no sese onua na antia a company for enti eno me share genesis so say edurumre bi na say ye yi ne ye penu ne eja ni nyina na yasam na ya akoye desini na mo amemra asem a enuanom atwe adwenasi so no so onipa brabo a wo bo nipa sitena mu nsam entifa ko enyini enti culture ye kan ho asem no culture bia ni ho a etisania ye beto ye ni nyina no enyini efrise nipa na ehhehye na esanse nipa hhehye nti emre sesa no na niema bebre ba nipa no abrabo mu na osuahunu ne nimdi a nipa wo no eno nso ka wona setena mu nsem a wo munyem ho anya san kemeka se sei dia ye hu wo Ghana no enya Ghana culture no ye nananom de beto wo mo no enya no ne ye wo mu no na ne ye wo mu sei no de beto ye nananom no enyini de nkrofo de aka ho ye ka ohia sam efri ebra abrofo ebedi ye maso mefen free Logisberg Breso 1919 ekosi 1956 annual report wa abrofo no troye nyina afi bia na wo annual report mu se omo eba omani mo no omo hunu ohia ni hoda afi bia na wa no report mu se ade afa no ohia omo hunu bi omani mu da enti se samre ohia omani mu mani patwe atuo de kugina kwa so enche nkofo ne ma na wo se ebisa se efre hene efre ni efre anuan maka Siantra so ho asem bia mesre anuanom ne se esanse enipa a onum so the Dr. Nketia kan no enipa a yebomutna ye ne ye ene ye nhyehyeye ena ye ka ho asem no na de enipa be ye nyina na ye efa kwemu eye papa wo ebi mu ena enfumso so ebi mu na nia ye enyamesomfo ye hia eni se ye betwetwenia eye na fifiri niema yehu ewo baabi a ye wo bia efiri se ye de no kra ba ye ntimi mfa ye de no kwa ntrase ewo se baabi a ya ba no ye de ho so de ye adwuma anyesa ye nsene ho nemom ye bebuo ye ani ye bebuo ya som ye bebue ya komamu na ne pa yehu yesua na ye de ka ye de a eye eho efiri se eno na bema enkoso ani puntuo abaya brabo mu nansen yehunu se nkrofo edi momombe akwa akudru Parliament House
Dumi no abo nyamo na mobe
enam so ma sebe nkrofo hwere wo mo nkwa enipa no mokoye sa de no anka ewose ye ni wo mo edi ni se de mrase enso bi o ha okokoto a osmanu me ho yesiko ba bi enye biem enso bi ewu obi kunu ko iti de me ka ede abopɔ ne se maya mfa ya dwene nkosi so sa brofo no ekromu a ya benti o se efomu bibia omne ma bebre nye ene bi nso ye ena ye nso ye niema no a ye eso ye no ebi emu odu a senki ejemu a ye komo ba ha ye enti yentra si niema se bisim niema mu ne ye hunu de adimpuntuo ne nkoso bebre ye na ye mfa enka nia ye wono ho na nia ye wa anya ye nyem na aboayen ama ye ho abamfaso wo nyame wiase se wo hwe akanfo anaganafo ya sekere mu nsem a eduru me bia me bisa mo se asmafo nyuma asor na hyase no omo ba bibrem ne besua ya na efiri se emra yesusu a ne ye wa de suase no oba taiti mi pia bonten ebe frem kwada se mewi aduane momra magibidi eye de jesse aduane ono a no wanya difo enenso waye aduane a wate se nipa eba no no wabua so no pepa na no obetra ho otwan woka wase mu wi anu akotra se no wadi aduane pese menkum nya ne niema bia eniem mojemu abefremu enti abusuafo eno ne Kristo ya wafre yense yemeye se yemma ne honhom enye adwuma wo yemu na ne papa ebeboa ye ama ye ho aba mfaso no yaye e de ahye.
God bless you, Papa.
Enti abrofo de no biye ebibifo de ni biye yenyi ne ye no nka ne ye ho na yemfa mobra manuato edamase.
Prophet Asibibre, I mean, Israel. Abisiafo, Yabema, ye lay chairman, and so Abem. The chairman Pacho, Adaruma.
So, Penny Prof. Jari de Kizuasa.
Prof Bessa Babish, Prof Bessa Babish, Intra.
Yeah, it's true. They didn't kind better masipa with such a wonderful debate premises for us to deal with. Yesha say na hiti wom na mani age na Ekobani Punchy hosts. The first thing I wrote here was balance. And Umua na me mame Hana. Ono no di can give balance. First, and I was happy. She touched balance. Ne free honomono. Yeni ba also. And I realized we pay attention to balance. Observe the akasa for any di kaka na no mini one ya drink. Said Sebe untimin fa ye canon pata untimin fa no meto ahabemu se wonyini a enyi baby a utimi nyini ensuo Sarah and afu kusie say onko densuo mu a any 5 minutes over here agwa kusia wo hono the me person me kakusi ni say asemi ye esepa ani koni ni ahaba nti ye fa no banyasafo ane ye tukwan ya betina kroyi mu ane kroyi emra wo nenso enye mra ni nyinara ena ye hunu se ye de tete ye fia ye enti ye yim na ye no the mesre ni say the second thing I wrote here identity crisis ye ne ye mani abusuafo wo fie no ye mu no say yam fa nyansa kwaso anyi a abofra no so okubonkum so okunifa eno so wo hunu no no so wo mfinfini ono so ne de yanko. I think say this is the core of premises I had in mind say yen kamo assembly. Na dear baku a mesre mame nomni say having confidence, it doesn't mean that you are rude. I know dear mesre say would mean say adie no eye tuntum na wo kan say ye tuntum nche say wo mu adie. I think say no na Africa no ya na ya fa ne say sebia obeka obetia obi na so obeye no nema ye de yensem wan a se de na so panyi e ka che no ese o man no se ba nya ehiafo wo ye man sa having confidence. It doesn't mean say we are rude. So the Western culture, in fact, they teach that. Because school or Ghana sana meba na me tresia. The teacher for ni twamsa because me use passive sentences. One cancer profuna wa kanu nyo. But also didn't necessarily would then wine. I didn't ya. What is wrong with you? Whom are you afraid with? Say it as it is. And the active tenses. And we use very active. Na no say sebe abofrano wo muade. He wants you to go for what you need. So and then here wo sanctity no na ye detete ye wa. If necessary me dey say yen kan ni no na yen hwe de ye na yen fa eno nam so e betimi akikire busua wa America ha kofo hu yen a ombeka say enipa we mu de o mu free hene inim say urade kan ye hu ye betimi aye me da wase
chama da si bebre benefo da munye na ase yesel ye wo ye secret judge ye pese o kan bibi kakra sofo ebo our secret judge Na yewia abusuafo yemre nti quick announcement aba na yama so pay Professor Kwachi ni akọ ehrai.
Yamine juma na hwe
Na ama wodi akoso.
Adi em say me bon nsem ama me ma menum a omu free both zone 1 and zone 2 nyina. My idea. You've done an amazing job. I am really excited about what I have heard. Na ni aya papa nom nyina so aka no nyina nokre. Na I want to bring one or two things to our attention. Em say meaning say if we got the rules of engagement for the debate there, but what we were expecting is that you will give a point in debates. When you give a point, your explanations backed with examples and good illustration drives your point home very well. As Mo Kasano, I took lots and lots of notes. Zone 1, individuality, you talked very well about it. What it allows for, what it doesn't allow for, community, a stronger community. Less gossiping. I like that. Time usage, very good. Academics, they were all very, very good points. The only issue that I had, and it was for both zone 1 and zone 2, and they said, we make these very beautiful, excellent points, but sometimes, we don't develop those points very well. I think that we were all very much more interested in bringing out more points than actually maybe bringing out a few points and supporting them with lucid, clear examples that can really drive your point home. For example, yes, sister, when you were talking about a stronger community using Prophet Isaiah and self-awareness, I think you could have developed it a lot more, thinking about Isaiah's contextual issue that he was addressing. Ebano academics, you made very, very great points. And you actually started with an example, say, headache and not diagnosing the headache, but taking it to say, yeah, blame me, say, and I say, very good point. But I think, say, you could have developed that more as well. On zone 2, the use of the community, hospitality. I really like hospitality, but I think in the same way Nana may catch zone 1, you could have also used very clear, lucid examples. Say in our tradition, in fact, I was having a conversation with one of my brothers, what hospitality can lead to. And even we as Africans, we are so hospitable to a fault, and what this has led to as far as welcoming the Western world into our country and the plight that we have ourselves. Conflict resolution, and we are in that and as women's fellowship, we say there have been so many issues and so many problems. Chaplain, very Reverend Moses Entry, solve. So we could have used one of those also as examples, right? We wanted to have these very lucid, clear examples. You spoke about the robustness and holistic approach to life, and I think that was a very, very good point. A very, very good point. How our culture holds both the secular and the religious together, the interrelatedness of it. You could have given a very good example. And I think say yeah, Papa, very Reverend Kwatuni Akuna or Kasano Kamibisa say you just don't look at the physicalness of it. Yeah, can say yeah, Christopher inquired. We believe we say the world no and yet there is always a spiritual component to everything that we are doing. So on an equal footing, no, I think he said we all did very well. Now say and yes, yeah, Papa of Moses, moderator, draw your attention. Say we have to poke holes in each other's argument. I think he said all we would have done was just give points and then leave it at that. But the essence of debate is not necessarily to demean one argument over the other, but to bring out the holes and the inadequacies of each other's argument. For example, written argument, written agreement in the Western world. Say Bibiano, one area, one way you could have poked holes in that is maybe because here, no, everything is so realistic, everything is so devoid of the spiritual. I said, we don't want to trust, we don't want to leave everything in anyone's hands. So we don't trust people. But in our context, because we believe the holisticness of everything that we do, no, we tend to want to trust people more. That's one example of poking holes. But I think on average, Daddy, we did very well, articulating our arguments, bringing out systematically our points. But for the future, and I know said there will be a part 2. For the future, let's make sure we are listening to our opponents and making sure we are finding ways and means of poking very big holes in their arguments. Because you can find good things and you can find bad things. So our objective, if you are my opponents, my objective is to listen to you intently and then bring up points that will disprove everything that you just said. So on the average, Daddy, I think we'll give a hands of applause to everyone. Give a hands of applause to everyone. And if you want to know Upakuno did first, and also Upakuno already, call me in chambers. Thank you, Dada. Daddy, are you back?
That's so for us, baby. Patrol, Yadamunia say, Bejina executive Namada Munina say, Mua Mujina, yeah, and other sister organizations, Yam Penning for Munina Mapa Amanaya Fe, a year papanum, so I'm to be joined a year, Yadamasi Bebre. Say, quick announcement. So said they are making not more than a minute. Secretary, sorry.
So thank you so much. Sister so far, so I'm not going to say anything again. Tomorrow is day 3. And as you've all seen, more good things are coming up. So tomorrow, we're not going to be long like this tomorrow. So 8 o'clock sharp, everybody zoom in so that we can get off the line at 9:30. Tomorrow at 8. Yeah, you are first order for mature sisters. 8 o'clock to start. The same line, the same Zoom line. Thank you. Yeah, we're called live so far now. Yes, we're going live tomorrow. Yes. And then we had about 226 people on the line and about 121 on, I think, Facebook. Until we did a good job. Amen.
I'm afraid that when I say, your best say, na so for penning Professor Quatrinia. I mean, Shabby for said, no, Mekano, Bishop Jumadiebi, inti, but Edaya or Pedro and a yang, but in Pacho Jumadiebi did no a copy baby. Yes, movie break. Yes, Prof. Pacho Adaroma, an edition.
Asedan town nyame kyerɛkyerɛfoɔ wo a honhom kronkron no ba yɛ mpɛsɔ so no ma yɛhunu nea wopɛ sɛ ɔde yɛyɛ. Anwummerɛ yi aseda yɛyie ne ntontom na yɛde ma wo din wɔ nea wama yɛn nsa aka yi. Soso yɛn adaeɛ na ma yɛnhunu nea wode yɛkɔ na yɛbue yɛ akoma ne yɛadwene mu agye wo nkyerɛkyerɛ kronkron no. Bɔ yɛn ho ban Awurade na yie firi musuo ne ɛsan mu na ma ne nsi yɛn yie na yɛn ho mmra mfasoɔ ma afoforɔ. Asomdwoe Nyankopɔn ne a ɔnam daa pam no so yie nwanhwɛfoɔ kɛseɛ yɛ Awurade Yesu Kristo fra awufoɔ mu no. Ɔma mo ne mu wɔ mo nnwuma pa nyinaa mu na ɔfa Yesu Kristo so nyɛ nea ɔpɛ wɔ mo mu. Ɔno na nidie ne anuonyam ka ne daapem daapem ne nhyira fi Nyame Agya Nyame Ɔba Nyame Honhom Kronkron di mu no. Ɔne yɛn tena nnɛ ne yɛn nkwa na nyinaa mu. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Sisters, thank you so much. Good night. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Thank you.